We've got a bit of craft coming up next as ODP Erika Garratt takes us through a tutorial for crocheted hearts. These make lovely Christmas decorations or the perfect homemade gift.
Hi, welcome to the Big Night In. I'm Erika. I'm an anaesthetic ODP in Main Theatres. I'm going to do a little crochet tutorial for you this evening just to show you some basic stitches to get you started, and then I've got another video about how to make a crochet heart. Hope you enjoy. First of all, I'm going to show you some basic crochet stitches to get you started. The first thing that you want to do is pick your correct hook. So this is an Aran weight yarn, so you will need a 4 or a 5mm, although I've got a 5.5, which is fine. It's just a bit easier to show you with. You also want a darning needle and some scissors for later on. So first of all, you need to learn how to cast off. So the first thing to do is you make a loop. You hold it in your left hand, or if you're left-handed, hold it in your right hand. Sorry, this is going to be for right-handed people. Sorry, left-handers. So you take your hook and you put it through your loop, pull it through, and there you go. That's called casting on, and that means that you can start your crocheting. Most crochet patterns will start with a chain stitch, and how you do a chain stitch is you will take your hook like that, and it's on your casting loop there. You take your hook, you go under the yarn and you catch it with your hook, you pull it through, and you've made your first chain. So I'll do that a few more times just to show you. So you've got your hook, you go around the yarn, hook it with your crochet hook, and you made a chain stitch. So I'll do that a few more times just to show you. And that is your chain. There's a pattern that I've provided of the heart, and it will go through the abbreviations and things on the pattern as well. So that is called your chain stitch, and that's what most people start with when they're doing a project. And you see it comes undone really easily. I'm going to show you how to do double crochet stitch next, which is normally the next one that you'll put into your chain. It's quite a close, bulky stitch. So start off with, you want to do one chain, and then you'll see the top of your stitches. You want to go through that, or underneath I should say, but through, push through to the other side and hook round until you've got 2 loops, 1, 2, on your crochet hook. Then as you do with the chain or any stitch that you're crocheting with, you go round, wrap the yarn round your crochet hook and pull through both loops. And I'll show that a few more times. So you push through the stitch, you wrap the yarn round, you've got 2 loops, and you pull through both the loops. So a few more times. You go through the stitch, round with the yarn, 2 loops through both, and that is called double crochet. The stitch you'll be using most for the crochet heart though is called a treble. So what I'm going to do is, just to make it a little bit easier, so I'm just going to do a chain of 3 stitches to give my treble a little bit of height. Now this time, before you go into your yarn or your stitch, you go round once. So now you've got 2 loops on your hook already. Now as you did with the double crochet, you go through the stitch again, wrap it round, and now you've got 3 loops on your hook. So you want to go through 2 and then 2 again. So it's always going through 2. So if you remember, it's just through 2, not all of them for a treble. So you go through, you go 2 and 2, go round and 2 and 2. And crochet is a lot more forgiving than knitting, so if you do mess up, you can unpick a stitch really easily and start again whereas with knitting it's a bit more of a faff. So wrap around your hook, through your stitch, through 2 loops, through 2 loops, and that's your treble. Now there is a half treble as well in this pattern. I'll just show you that quickly. It's really easy. So you start off as if you do for a treble. So you go round your hook, you go through your stitch, hook your yarn, you got your 3 loops. Now instead of doing 2 and 2, you just go through all 3 in one go. If you're new to crochet, you've not done it before, I would say that the best yarn to use is quite a thick one like this Aran weight and a big crochet hook, because it just makes it easier than smaller ones which are a bit more fiddly, but you do whatever you find easiest. I probably should have shown as well at the start of the video is when you're holding your yarn, and once again this is for right-handed people, so you just have to reverse it if you're left-handed. So I tend to have the yarn around my fingers like that, whatever's comfortable. I have looked at books and things and they show you, and some of them are a bit complicated looking, but you just want a nice tension so that it's easier to hook the yarn around your hook, because if it's all loose like this it's not going to work. So just wrap the yarn around your hand, and I'll show you that half treble again. So you've gone round, you go through the stitch, you pull the yarn through, now you've got 3, and you go through all 3. Whereas with the treble, which I'll just show you again quickly, you go round, through, and then instead of going 4, 3, you go 2 and 2. Right. Another stitch you're going to need quickly is the slip stitch, which is when you're fastening off or joining rounds together when you're working in a round. So this is very simple. You just go through your next stitch, you pull the yarn through, and then you pull it straight through the loop without doing anything else, and you secured it. And then to fasten off, after you've done your slip stitch, you pull through, grab your scissors, and you have a nice and secure end to your bit of crochet. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it made some sense. There are a lot of books, YouTube videos, craft magazines that could probably explain it better than me, but that's just an example of how you can start off with your crochet and how simple it is. Hello again, this is my second video after the crochet tutorial to show you how to make a lovely crochet heart. It's a very simple pattern. The size your heart will be depends on the size of your yarn that you've chosen. You can have sparkly yarn for Christmas tree decoration, or pink for Valentine's Day, whatever floats your boat. And I'm going to use a lilac purple yarn. So this is a tutorial on how to make a lovely little crochet heart. It looks like this. Well, they look a bit more like this because I've used a thicker yarn. So as I said in the first video, you can use whatever yarn that you like. It's great for using up scraps of yarn as well, because it doesn't need a lot. So first of all, you want to cast on around your hook, and you want to make a chain of 4. I was going to put an anaesthetic joke in there about train of 4, but I thought better of it. If you don't know anaesthetics, you won't get it, and it's not particularly funny anyway. So anyway, chain of 4, not train of 4. My husband's looking at me like I'm an idiot. Right, so this time you want to do a slip stitch from this to this one, and this will form a little loop. There you go, so you got a little loop now, so you want to crochet in to that loop. So now we're going to do a chain of 3. 1, 2 and 3. And I forgot in the first video to show you how to do double treble, which I'll be doing later in this pattern, but I'll show you, just have to show you when I get there. So we want to do 10 trebles into the middle of the loop you just made. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Like I said, crochet is very forgiving. If you make a mistake, it's very easy to unpick. And this, because it's only 2 rounds of crochet, it doesn't matter if you have to unpick the whole lot and start again, because it won't take very long. So how many have I done so far? So far I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I'm halfway. I've done 5 trebles, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1 more makes 10. So now you remember that chain of 3 stitches you did at the start? What you're going to do is slip stitch into the top of that one, just so you've got a little sort of like ring donut shape now. Now this is the double treble I'm going to do next, which I totally forgot to tell you about how to do, but it's basically twice around the hook rather than once, which you do for a treble. So you go 1, 2 this time, but if you always remember that you do 2 at a time, so you always go through 2 stitches at a time. And I'm going to do that 3 times, so that's 1 and 2, so you've got 3 double trebles, and then into the top of the next treble you want to do 3 more double trebles, so twice round your hook into the top of your treble stitch from the previous round, and then just go through each of the 2 loops, and that's your double treble. There is a pattern that will, a written pattern document that hopefully can be sent out to you that just describes all of this. And like I said before, there are lots of videos out there on YouTube that will show you how to do all these stitches. So now you've got 6 double trebles, so into your next stitch, so you've worked in 2 stitches so far, so this is into your 3rd treble of the round below. So do 1 treble, so that's once round your hook, and then a half treble in the same stitch. So this is the one where you go through all 3 loops, so you start it like a treble but you go through all 3 loops at once. And then you want to do a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, so 1 double crochet in each stitch, so 1 in that stitch and 1 in that stitch. So now we've reached the point of your heart, and to make it a nice point you're going to do, put in 3 stitches into this stitch here. So you want to do a double crochet, a treble, so you go round 2 and 2, and then another double crochet, and then the other side of your heart, to make it symmetrical, it's not obviously anatomically correct this heart, sorry cardiologists. So you're going to do 2 more double crochet, so 1 and 2, and then we're going to do a half treble, so like I said, the reverse of what you did on the other side. So that's your half treble, then you do a treble into the same stitch, and then you do your, please excuse Molly, my cat meowing, your double trebles, so that's 3 in each stitch, so you end up with a total of 6. And then when you finish, I'll show you a little trick how to turn this into a decoration that you can hang rather than just finishing off and cutting off the end. And it's always good to have a good darning needle as well, so that you can tidy up any loose ends, so it looks all nice and professional and neat and tidy. And once you've learnt these basic stitches, these basic crochet stitches, you can make anything. Got dragon there, got Hedwig, you can do blankets. Crochet is very versatile. You can do clothes, ornaments, all sorts of things. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just one more double treble, and that is your last stitch. So it's really easy to do and quick. It's not taking me very long to do this at all. So you want to do a slip stitch into that little gap there. It gives you a nice heart shape. Now, as I said, this little trick you can do to give yourself a nice neat loop. So you go back through that stitch, pull it through, instead of cutting it off like you normally would do when you fasten off at the end of the project, just do a knot, tie a knot at the base of your heart, and get your scissors and cut the end off, and then you would don that end in, and I would normally just hide it in that ring there so you can't see it. And there is your little crochet heart. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you make lots of hearts, and I'd love to see them and hear any feedback. That'd be really nice. So anyway, have a wonderful evening and take care. Keep safe. Bye.